What's up, gamers? Post-editing Belvis here. First of all, sorry about the recording quality. For some reason, my software decided to record on my webcam mic instead of my headset mic, and this video is like an hour long, and I kind of don't want to re-record it, so I'm just going to upload it like this. And also, at the end of the video, I actually changed my mind about a couple of my picks, so I'll talk about them then. But yeah, enjoy the video.
What is up, gamers? Today we are going to be ranking every killer in Dead by Daylight in accordance to how fun they are to play against from a survivor perspective. And these ads, it will not let me block them. This ad blocker is just trolling me right now, so I guess we're going to have to deal with that. But anyways, starting off the list, we have the Trapper. Trapper is going to get a big fat F tier. Like, he might be the worst killer in the game. He's down there with Freddy for sure. But playing against Trapper is just so boring. Like, usually, if he knows what he's doing, he's not going to chase you. He's going to set down a web of traps, he's going to corral you into it, and then you have no pallets and no windows to use, and just like running into a trap that is completely covered in grass, like that never feels good. Having to when he's on the other side of the map and you're just like walking around, you have to walk, and you have to be looking at the ground all the time if you don't want to get trapped. So it's very boring gameplay. You have to also look at the ground constantly when you're playing against Trapper, which, I mean, it's just a little different. I don't really like doing that. I prefer to just play the game normally and keep my eyes on the killer and not have to look at the ground. So yeah, Trapper gets an F tier. Although he might be the weakest killer in the game, he is not fun to go against. His strength definitely does not determine that. So now for Wraith. Chase Wraith probably F. Normal Wraiths, though, maybe B. I think, which should average him out to a C, but you know what? I'm going to say he's a B tier. I actually really like playing against Wraith. I don't know what it is. Always being on edge and just having to look around you, listen to the little sound cues, the snarl, thinking about, okay, where is he in relation to where I am? Is there a chance he could pop up on this gen? Especially if he has Silent Bell. That guy can just pop up and grab you, which you've got to be always aware of, which is... I mean, actually, maybe that's not always the most fun. Maybe I should put him in C tier, but I don't know. I'm feeling a B tier for Wraith. Having a little minigame when he pops out, uses his extended lunge after he uncloaks, especially at short loops and stuff, you're like, okay, is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? How do I outplay this? I really like the two little minigames you can do with Wraith, where if you're at a pallet, and he's at the pallet, and he's on the other side, and he is, 99ing his uncloak. Usually what they're going to do is they're going to 99 their uncloak, assuming the survivor's going to drop the pallet to be safe, and then he just doesn't uncloak, so he gets to break the pallet and still have his stealth and speed. But what you can do as a survivor is if you read the Wraith and predict them, you can be like, okay, he's going to 99 his power, I'm not going to drop this, and then he wasted all that time filling up his bar, and it just goes all the way back down to zero, and he has to do it again. And you can even do that multiple times. I've gotten 3 in a row, maybe even more on a Wraith doing that exact mind game. And another one that's really fun is if you get to a window before a Wraith, just spam vaulting it back and forth can actually be really fun, because it's the same kind of thing. The Wraith is either gonna have to fully uncloak and vault the window, or he is gonna have to do the same little mind game where he 99s his power, assuming that you're gonna stop vaulting, but you just don't. So I like the little minigames with Wraith. I think he deserves B tier. Now Billy. Billy is going to be a nice S tier. Even after his buffs, obviously he's way stronger now than he used to be with overheat and all that. But I find Billy fun to go against. I mean, Windows are a huge counter to him. So knowing how to play around Windows is really fun. Going against a curve Billy is arguably the most fun thing in the game. Just watching them whip around corners and stuff, be like, oh my gosh, are they going to hit me? Do I got to hug it tight? Do I got to go wide? I find that mind game extremely fun. And just watching them whip around corners is obviously insane. Especially with Overdrive now, they zoom. The only thing going against him is now, because of his Overdrive, he might be going too fast sometimes where you literally just can't counter him. And you, sometimes... you'll have... There's, 2 scenarios I can think of in my head right now. Sometimes you'll have a little bit of distance, and you are, you're just trapped. You have nowhere to go, especially on maps like Midwich. Or, maybe that's not the best example, but... Yeah, let's say you're on, a hallway on Midwich, and he has Overdrive, and there's no windows, no doorways to go into. You're pretty screwed. You're not really anything you can do. He just catches up to you in, not even 2 seconds, 1 second, and you're down. And then, actually, I was going to put this against him, the second thing I'm about to say, but I actually kind of like it. That the fact that in Overdrive, especially on a map like Rotten Fields or something, he can just zoom across the entire map, and this man can be, from one side to the other in like 4 seconds sometimes. And just like being on a gen, you always have to be careful, kind of like with Wraith, but it's more fun because this man is just right at you. I don't know. Billy earns his S tier spot. Now Nurse. Oh boy, Nurse. Very divisive. Good. Going against a good Nurse, F tier. Going against a bad Nurse, S tier. I think I'm going to have to average her out to C tier. When you're going against a good Nurse, like, what are you really going to do in the grand scheme of things? They're just going to blink on top of the last location they saw you, and they're going to use their second blink to adjust and then hit you. And that's not fun. There's no counterplay. You can't use pallets, really. You can't use windows. The only thing you can really use against a good Nurse is, Nurse in general, but especially good Nurses, is line of sight, and then, trying to, like, maintain distance after you lose line of sight, stuff like that. A bad Nurse, probably not going to know how to use their power. It's really fun to juke. You can spin them very easily. That's obviously very fun. But, like, let's just say that we're going against an average Nurse. Some of the time she's going to hit, like, crazy blinks on you, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, what am I supposed to do against that? There's no counterplay. And then some of the time, she messes up her blinks, and it feels really good to outplay that. So, Nurse is a killer with high highs and low lows. I think she deserves a C tier, right in the middle. Myers. Oh, okay. I don't think Myers deserves F. I'm going to give him D tier. Myers, what probably feels the worst is when someone on your team gives Myers 99 tier 3. He walks up to you with an 8-meter tear radius. You can't hear him coming. You have no time to react, literally like 1 second or less to react. And he just pops his tier 3 and downs you immediately. Because most gens are like not in the most safe of locations. So that's just not fun, man. You have zero interaction with the killer there. You don't see him at all. And then he just pops up on you, like basically unbeknownst to you, and then just downs you like in 1 second. Like that's never fun. Scratch Mirror sometimes can be fun to play against, just like, the jump scares and stuff, but it's pretty easy to counter if you're just like with a teammate constantly healing. Because like he really has no chase power. He's wall hacks. Like, if you go to a pallet, it's like safe, or a window that's safe. Like what's he gonna do, dude? He's slower too. Like yeah, I don't know. Myers is not fun. Hag, yeah, F tier as well. All the trap killers are gonna be down here. Hag is the same thing as Trapper, She sets up a web of traps. A lot of the time, she's not chasing you. She's corralling you into that. And then, honestly, she's lower than Trapper. Because, she hits you with a trap, immediately teleports and hits you. Hits you with a trap, immediately teleports and hits you. She's amazing at proxy camping. It's so unfun to go against. It's just, at least you can get rid of her traps now without flashlights. I don't like how they removed the flashlight thing, by the way. I still think that was fine. There's no problem with that, but at least you can get rid of her traps now, just like with nothing, so that's nice. But yeah, she's just not fun. She just, zones you, corrals you into an area, doesn't really chase you a lot of the time. Not fun. She has a very hit and run playstyle a lot of the time as well, so not fun. Doctor, oh man. He's either D or F. Spoilers. I don't know. I hate playing against Doctor. I'm putting him at the top of F tier. I think I like playing against him better than these two, but he's so boring to go against, man. Like, his anti-loop is so slept on, but he's still a weak killer because he has no map control. Like, basically every single loop in the game, he can outplay. He can even outplay Shack Pallet if it's dropped. If the Shack Pallet is dropped and you're inside and you're waiting for them to either come in or vault a window, then you see the vault animation. Okay, you vault the pallet out of Shack. You see them come in. Okay, you vault the pallet out of Shack. If they break the pallet, okay, run away. But like with Doctor, you could be camping that pallet. He shocks you. You can't do anything, so the killer just vaults the window and gets a hit. And like at normal loops, at every single loop in the game, Doctor plays the same. It's so boring. All he does is shock you, get a little bit closer. Shock you, get a little bit closer. Shock you, get a little bit closer. Shock you, okay, now he finally is close enough to get a hit. Just, it's so boring. He really takes away like the most fun part of Dead by Daylight for Survivor, which is looping. You can't vault windows, you can't vault pallets. A lot of the times you have to pre-drop and then run around the pallet until it's, he gets bloodlust enough to hit you. It's so boring. He's not a fun killer to play against. Now, Huntress, I'm gonna give Huntress an A tier. I don't know if she's an S tier killer to go against. I might end up changing my mind later on, but I like going against Huntress, especially Huntresses that are like Giga Chad and just run like 4 aura perks and go for map wide shots. Like that's so fun. If you've ever played against a really good Huntress, you'll notice you have to look up in the sky because these guys are going to go for some orbital freaking strikes. It's insane. Like being on a gen, watching someone get hooked, and then knowing a hatchet is going to come at you within the next 5 seconds, and it might come out of the air, and you might not see it coming if you're not looking at it. Like that stuff is so fun. And I mean, like I also like the little mind game of you kind of have to like make a lot of decisions in the moment and kind of have to read the Huntress you're going against, which I think is very fun, to be honest. Like if you're running around the pallet, you gotta be like, okay, is she gonna ready her hatchet? Can I greet another loop? Or is she just gonna walk right through it and completely disregard the pallet, and then I might get hit here? Just stuff like that. Like, okay, like is she gonna ready up? Is she not? Can I get another loop? I like that a lot. Also, little macro gameplay of counting the number of hatchets. And now she's capped at 7. She can't have more than 7 now. So you're always gonna know if she's thrown 7 hatchets, she's out. So I like that. I mean, you're like, okay, she's thrown 7 at me. Now she's just a 110 killer with no power. She's either going to have to reload or chase me and get, like, worse results. So I like playing against Huntress. Yeah. Bubba. Bubba. I love playing against Bubba, dude. I actually like playing. Yeah, Bubba is so fun to play against. He's so cute, dude. When he freaking bumps and he does a little tantrum, it's so cute, dude. Oh my gosh, I don't know. That's probably not the best word to describe it, but he's just fun to go against. I mean, he's the same counter as Billy, where like windows are very strong, and then like when you're playing a pallet against a Bubba and he's just like slowly catching up, you're like, oh my gosh, wait, can I actually make this? And like you barely get the stun at the last. Stunning a Bubba while he's using his chainsaw and not letting him break the pallet is super satisfying. It feels so good. And then the distance you can gain if he bumps on something is just insane. You get so much distance. And then, even the little mind game of learning the timing for lockers. So, like, the Bubba's using his power. You jump into a locker to avoid getting hit. Bubba usually will bump into the locker to start a tantrum. And then if you know the timing, you can jump out of the locker at like the last possible second while his tantrum is ending, but before the grab animation starts. And usually he's forced to M1 you. And that's very fun. Because, I mean, obviously after that he uses his tantrum, he has no power, so he's going to have to M1 you or just let you go. So learning that timing is fun. And then going against really good Bubbas, actually, that know how to like moonwalk at tiles in power and stuff, like that is very fun. I really enjoy that aspect. So Bubba's getting a fat A tier. Freddy... He's definitely F. I just don't know if he's worse than these guys. I think I'd rather play against Freddy than Doctor, so I'll probably put him at top of F. But I mean, he's just so boring. Like, you're playing against him, the game is gray from starters. Like, it just looks worse when you're in the dream world. He just, very, very stupid, like, clown-like gameplay, where he just, waits at a pallet, puts a snare down on one side, puts a snare on the other, chases you around the loop so you run into the snare, and then doubles back so you have to run into the other snare, and then he gets a hit. Like, it's not that fun. And again, like, Trapper and Freddy are like the worst killers in the game, but they're still so unfun to go against. And like fake pallets and stuff, like, probably a skill issue, but like, I don't know. It just feels bad when you're like, trying to like loop a pallet and you drop it and it's just fake. You're like, oh, well, okay, there goes that, I guess. It's pretty boring. I don't find Freddy fun to go against. Just an all-around boring killer. F tier. No more words need to be said about him. The Pig! I'm going to give Pig top of B tier. Especially after her rework, where she is better in chase and can't really do the cheesing playstyle with the traps. She's a lot more fun to go against, in my opinion. I really find it fun when you're at a loop and you're trying to dodge her little ambush attack. I don't know, like, it's really fun to me. Just watching her, crouch and you're like, okay, do I have enough distance to where I can leave the loop and run to another one? Or do I actually have to play this loop? Maybe she, like, does the thing where she doubles back in her power. That's, okay, and playing as Pig, that's very fun to do. Even playing against her, I think it's fun to counter it as well. Yeah, man, I don't know. Obviously, her stun sound is adorable. Probably, like, one of the best in the game. Stunning her, getting the little snoot boops. Hearing the little growl. Wow, my sound effects are just not on point today. But the little growl is nice. I mean, it's a great way to tell you she's coming. I also just find it fun to hear in the game. And maybe I don't even think I'm biased. I mean, Saw is my favorite movie franchise, but I don't think I'm biased. I think this is a fair pick. Pig, top of B. I like it. Clown, again. Would I rather play against a... yeah, Clown is F. I think I would actually rather play... No, whoa. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I'd rather play against Clown than Doctor. Doctor's so boring. But Clown, I mean, no one likes being slowed down in video games. Like, the Clown, again, the same freaking stupid crap as Freddy, where he just, sits at the pallet. He might throw his yellow bottle at him, throws the purple bottle at you, and then you get slowed. You can't make it around to the pallet in time. You just get hit. This is actually another killer that can outplay Shaq surprisingly well. A lot of people don't know that, but he's very good. Like, Clown's anti-loop is insane, but he just sucks as a killer, and he has no map control. Same thing with Doctor. But just because he has good anti-loop doesn't mean he's fun to go against. I mean, that probably makes him not fun to go against, right? But, yeah, I don't know. I never really have fun when I'm playing against a Clown. I mean, it's just the same boring, stale gameplay every single loop, and you're slow, and no one likes being slow. And they did change it so at least you're not, you don't have, the visual thing anymore, which I guess is nice, but that doesn't really change anything. You're still slow, and you can't really loop. It's so boring. Yeah, Clown F here for sure. Spirit. I think I get Spirit top of C. I think that's fair. Ever since her directional audio change, she's definitely way more fun to go against. You actually have at least a little bit of counterplay, and if you know the timing on Spirit's power and you know she used her whole power, then she's basically just a 110 killer with no power for 20 seconds, something like that. So, I mean, you can just loop her like that, then it's pretty easy. But, I mean, once you're injured against a Spirit, it's kind of over for you. Especially if she knows what she's doing. It's never fun just being at a window or a pallet, and, she uses her Husk to block one side, and then she just uses her fast movement speed and phase to catch up to you before you can make it to the pallet because it's blocked on one side, or window because it's blocked on one side, and then she just hits you and downs you. So, I mean, it's never too fun. But I still actually like going at Spirit. If I get a Spirit, I'm not going to be mad at it. I actually like playing at Spirit, so I think she's right in the middle. I think she deserves C tier. Legion. Oh, this is tough. Because I actually like playing against Legion. He's either going top of C or bottom of B. I feel weird putting him... Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. I feel weird putting Legion in B. I don't know, man. Maybe he goes C. You know what? I'm going to say Legion goes C solely because of your solo queue teammates. Because Legion obviously is great at getting the first hit, but then he actually has to chase you afterwards. And the chase is the most fun part of Dead by Daylight. He has nothing to help him with that. So, now I'm thinking about B tier. I don't know. You know what? Executive decision. Legion's going to go B tier to go against. He is, a normal M1 killer. So after he gets his free hit on you, you have a normal chase. And you can use all of your mechanics and skill in the game to loop him. And that is very fun. Legion, obviously, great at getting the first hit. People call it Mending Simulator. It's true. Also, once you learn how to play against Legion, he's really not bad. I don't understand all the hate against Legion. He just, he hits you in his power. Either don't mend, or what I like to do is I like to 99 my mend. So in case he comes back, I'm not fully mended, so he can't hit me again and get the down. But I'm 99, so I can just go on a gen, and when I need to finish my mend, I'll just get off the gen and mend, something like that. And then healing against Legion is just something that you should never do, because what's the point? You waste 16 seconds healing, and then he's just gonna hit you for free in 1 second, and then run away. Don't heal against Legion, guys. But I mean, once you know that kind of stuff, he's just an M1 killer with a little bit of map traversal, not even too much. I actually, probably my favorite thing against Legion is Legion Chicken, where they're in their power and you are at a pallet and the Legion is kind of going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth because he thinks you're going to drop the pallet, and then once you do, you're just going to he's just going to vault over and hit you. Like, there's nothing really you can do, like Chucky. Except Chucky can actually down you. That's a whole nother story. We'll wait for that. But, yeah, I mean, like, what's he really going to do, right? Like, sorry. I got so off track. Now I'm thinking about Chucky. Anyways, Legion Chicken is fun. Getting that stun is so satisfying. Also, never blind a Legion in their power, because it cancels their power and they can get a free hit on you. It's, like, the worst thing you can do. But, yeah, I mean, Legion, I don't understand all the hate. I think he's B tier. Plague. This is a tough one. She's kind of has the same thing as... I'm actually going to put her at C. Yeah. Dude, this might be weird. I don't really like playing against Plague that much. I think she might actually be below... I'd rather have a Spirit than a Plague. As crazy as that sounds. One, solo queue teammates are just going to give her power non-stop, and that's never fun. If you see your solo queue teammates, like, cleansing all the time, maybe just cleanse. I don't... Like, it's... Your solo queue teammates are just going to give her power, like, non-stop. I mean... Her power is extremely strong, like her Corrupt Purge. It's really hard to outplay that. Although they actually did just, like, Shadow Nerf her for some reason, where if you stun her with anything, even like a DS or a head-on, she loses her power, which is just stupid. Even a Blast Mine, I'm pretty sure. But, I don't know, man. There's something about Plague where she's just not fun, really, to go against. I mean, like, okay, if she doesn't have her Corrupt Purge, she has the same thing as Legion, where she's a normal N1 killer and she has to chase you and you can use your skill. But, like, she does have something else. She has a Corrupt Purge. And 90% of your games, she's going to have that more than one time, especially if she has the Iridescent add-on to give it 5 times after all the gens are done. So, after each gen is done, instead. But, yeah, I don't know, man. She's definitely not as fun to play against as Legion. Like, you're constantly injured, but also, it's harder, like, she also counters so, like, the healing, you can't heal. Like, if you have a healing build, yeah, okay, sorry, Plague just counters that. You're not going to heal this whole game, sorry. So, like, the fact that she can just counter that entire playstyle, or not even playstyle, it's just like build. It's fun to, see yellow bar go fast, woo! But she just completely counters that, and that is not fun. So, yeah, I think she goes below Spirit and C tier. Even below Nurse, like, nah, I'll put her above Nurse. Ghostface, he's gonna go D with Myers. It's just, Let me explain, and then I'll place him above or below. So, Ghostface has the same thing as Myers, where he can just sneak up on you. Okay. The reason I would put him above Myers is because Myers feels awful because your team can give him stock, and then he can run up to you and one-shot you. Ghostface, if he stalks you, it's all on you. He can't stalk your teammates to get to you, so that part is nice. You don't get, like, downed by something that your teammates did, which that does feel good. But at the same time, his reveal mechanics are just so bad. He's been in the game for so long now, and, like, you can be staring at this man, and he is just not getting revealed. And you get exposed, and you go down, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, what? Like, I was looking right at this guy. And then on the flip side, when you're playing Ghostface, you can be literally behind a wall, and the survivor reveals you. And like, okay, how come that never happens for me? Like, anyways, what feels worse, having your team do something that results in you going down instantly, or having buggy mechanics in the game? I would probably say the team thing. So I think Ghostface is going to go above Myers, but just barely, though. They're in the same D tier for a reason. Demogorgon. I like Demo. Is he more fun to go against than Pig? Yeah, I would say so. I like playing against Demo. I mean, Demo's a good boy. Odd thing to say, pause. But, I mean, his Shred is super fun. He's kind of like Huntress, but instead of throwing hatchets, he just yeets himself at you, which is obviously a great animation to see. Watching him fly off of hills is hilarious. He does have a lot of zoning, though, like with his Shred, and he doesn't lose movement speed for the first little while, so, like, he can zone you, which is never fun, but you're actually still able to loop him, and he can also outplay, like, pretty much any tile in the game. He's amazing at Shack. A lot of survivors will go Shack, and, okay, this is a whole nother thing, and I'm talking about Killer, but if you're playing as Demo, Survivor goes Shack, you're just like, okay, that's a free hit for me because I'm Demogorgon, but anyways, I digress. We're talking about survivors here. Yeah, it's very fun to crouch tech him. You know, if he's like coming off of a surface pause, or if he is just like trying to use his power at a loop. Sometimes you're able to crouch tech him, and it like it's kind of abusing the hitbox. Same thing with Billy, and even Blight later on, where they are like flying at you or like throwing something at you, and then you crouch underneath the hitbox because the hitbox is kind of high. It's very weird. I don't understand that game mechanic all too well, but you can crouch tech them, which is fun. Getting the little snarl sound. It's not snarl. I don't even know what you call it. A little screeching sound when you stun them. They also have a great stun sound. Aesthetically, amazing killer. They look so cool. Like I'm never. If I get a Demogorgon, I'm usually happy. I like demo games. So, Demo, good boy. You get B tier. Oni, S. I think Oni's top of S, to be honest. The only thing that goes against Oni is the beginning of the game when you're just, it's a pre-drop simulator because you don't want him to get his power. Like that can be pretty boring, but going against Oni power is scary, man. Like Oni's power is the strongest power in the game, and obviously that's why it's limited, but I still believe like it might even be stronger than Blink. Because, I mean, you get insane map traversal. I think it is stronger than Blink, probably. You get insane map traversal, and you also have instant down. And, like, you break pallets faster, too, like, all that stuff. But, you can also crouch tech an Oni. Spinning the Oni in his power feels just... feels so good. I love spinning Oni in his power. Yeah. I like playing as Oni, man. He's a very fun killer to play. Watching this dude fly across the map, dodging his hits it always feels good. And like if you ever played Oni, you understand that you understand where they can and where they can't hit you when they're in their power. So just knowing how to abuse that is very nice. I honestly, at this stage of the game, I don't know if the Oni flick is still a thing. If you can do like the 180 flick with Oni, I think you can, but it's very difficult to pull off. If you ever see an Oni 180 flick you in his power, then like props to him, because I actually don't even know if it's still in the game. I don't see enough Onis, sadly. But yeah, Oni's big fat S tier. He's super fun to go against. I'm never having a bad time when I'm against an Oni. Plus, aesthetically, sound design, great all around. That map wide roar, not little at all. That map wide roar he does is just like, oh man, here we go. Time for some fun gameplay. So yeah, Oni, big S tier, better than Billy. Deathslinger. Oof. Yeah. Don't really like playing as Deathslinger. There we go. I don't really like playing as Deathslinger that much. I mean, he can just zone you a lot of the time. He's not. Does he really deserve D tier though? I don't know. I might put him at bottom of C actually. Deathslinger is just like he can get a hit at most tiles in the game. He has some of the best zoning. I mean, he's 110, so you can take advantage of that. But I mean, what really is there to say about Deathslinger? Like, he's just I don't find him that fun to go against. It is fun when they're like going for those crazy crack shots through like holes and shack and like holes and loops and stuff. And like when you get like an insane like multiple 1,000-hour Deathslinger main who just knows every little inch of the map and what you can and can't shoot through, that's kind of fun. And like, you know what? I'm putting him in C tier and not D tier just because of the Deathslingers that reel you in and do that nod. If you know what I'm talking about, oh my gosh, that is just straight comedy. It's always hilarious. I love that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, he just zones you. Like, it's pretty boring. Pretty boring gameplay. Yeah, bottom of C, that's fine. Pyramid Head. I mean, same kind of thing. Like, he just, places down his power and... does he... I feel like I'm being too generous. I feel like I'm being too generous. He places down his power at a loop, and then you either, drop the pallet, get hit, vault the pallet, get hit, vault the window, get hit, because you're locked in an animation, he can do it. Or he can just zone you with his power, and then get a free M1. Like, it's not that fun. And he's also a Giga Tunneler. If this guy gets you in, a cage, then, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you can't use off the record, you can't use DS, especially after the new DS buff. Like, a lot of people are going to be running it. If you see more Executioners nowadays, don't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, like, he's just not that fun. Again, the same thing with Deathslinger, like the zoning. He gets free hits at a lot of tiles just because you're locked in an animation, and that never feels good. I hate free hits in this game. I mean, it's not as free as like Chucky, which I'll get to later, but it's relatively free if if the Executioner player knows what they're doing. So I don't know. I'm gonna put him in D tier. Blight, definitely S. I'll put him at bottom of S. I've actually not played against the Blight since they removed the Hug Tech, so I wonder how that's gonna be. But and especially after they removed all his add-ons, all his OP add-ons like Compound 33, Alkring, stuff like that. He's way more fun to go against. Just like base Blight is one of the best design killers in the entire game. Like, you know, you still get to loop him. I'll say most Blights are not the insane crack Blights that know how to use their power at every loop. So you get to loop him normally. Yeah, you get to loop him normally. He's super fast. Like dodging, knowing what loops he can and can't hit around is also a huge thing. So like sometimes if you're like at a rock, you're just like, okay, I'm safe. Like you're not getting behind this. And then you can also crouch tech him, kind of like you can with Billy and where's he? Demo and some other killers I haven't mentioned. I'm blanking on right now. But yeah, I mean, going against Blade's fun. Also, spinning a Blade in their power is so fun. Same thing with Oni. Like he's got that little spin factor. It feels so good. Yeah, I mean, Blade is just an extremely well-designed killer. The fact that he's the second strongest killer in the game and still insanely fun to go against, like, you know, bravo behavior. Good job. I don't really know what else to say about Blade. He's just a fun killer to play against. Yeah. Twins. Yo, Loki. Yo, crazy guy. I think I'd rather play against Twins than any of these killers, though. So they're gonna go top of F tier. There we go. Thank God the Twins changes didn't make it live, because then she would just be so stupid. Zero counterplay. But we'll talk about the live version of Twins. I mean, she's really good at tunneling. She's really good at camping. You get slugged 100% of the games you play against the Twins. Because, you know, I mean, that's... her design is so poor. Like, Victor can't pick you up, but he's so good at downing you. So, like, you know, he just downs you, and then you're just stuck on the ground. It's so boring. You're just, you know, holding M1 and laying on the ground, and you have nothing to do in the game. Like, that's just never fun. Like, when would that ever be fun? But, yeah, I mean, Victor can feel definitely very oppressive, especially the Twins that just back-rev the Victor. And then, like, what... especially if you're in, like, a corridor, like, what are you gonna do? If he's literally, like, right on you, and he just back-revs you and just hits you, like, I mean, there's nothing you can do. And they actually changed it now. I used to like holding on to Victor, because you could just hold on to him for... I don't know if it was, like, 30 seconds, a minute, or straight up indefinitely. It felt like indefinitely, honestly, but I'm pretty sure they could recall it at some point. But now they can recall it in, like, 10 seconds. But, like, what I used to like doing was... I would hold Victor on me, and then there's a normal M1 killer. They're just like, I'm oblivious, so like, I mean, who really cares if you know what you're doing in this game? It's not that big a deal, especially because she's probably going to be chasing you because she has, you know, like, not like wall hacks, but she can see where Victor is. So, I mean, yeah, and now that she can recall it, it's definitely not fun. Would I rather go against a Freddy, a Clown, a Twins? Like Freddy, okay, 1, 2, 3, Freddy or Twins. I can't do it. I think I'd rather play against Twins, because Twins, juking Victor is fun. Yeeting that little boy, kicking him, so fun. I love kicking Victor. Yeah. Dude, I might actually. I kind of want to move. I'm gonna change my mouse a little bit. Yeah, Twins definitely earns their spot at the top of F. Top is a bit of a stretch, too. Let's see. Hag. Well, I think I'd rather play against Hag than Doctor, crazy enough. Trickster. Oh, God, dude. Oh, God. Don't even get me started on Trickster, dude. He's so incredibly boring to play against. He slowly whittles down at you, and he's 115 now. So it's easier for him to catch up. He can hit over a lot of the loops in the game. And it's not like, you know, when you dodge a Deathslinger shot or a Huntress Hatchet or a Demo Lunge, like, you feel good. You get that little adrenaline boost, and you're like, okay, I dodged it. With Trickster, you can't really do that, you know? You get hit with one, and you dodge maybe a couple, you get hit with another, you dodge maybe a couple, you get hit. He's just basically guaranteed to hit. It just takes him a lot of time sometimes. It is... Same thing with Doctor. You know what? I think I'd Would I rather play against a Trickster or a Doctor? I'd rather play against a Trickster, to be honest with you. I think he's gonna go right here. Barely though. I mean, Trickster's so unfun. Like I was saying, I mean, like you just basically guarantee to hit. It just takes a long time. Super unfun to go against. You basically have no counterplay on the Survivor side. It's not fun when you have no counterplay, right? So I mean, yeah, I don't want to talk about Trickster anymore. Let's move on to Nemesis. Dude, this might be weird. Might be hot. I love playing against Nemesis. Maybe it's because Nemesis is one of my favorite killers to play. I'm a little bit biased, but he. Oh, nah, yeah. No. I just thought of something. I have to move him down to B tier. Dodging his whip is really fun. Knowing that like the drag physics and like crouching underneath windows and stuff, that stuff can be really fun. You can't really pre-drop against him, so it's kind of the same mind game as Huntress, where, like, okay, is he going to ready his tentacle? Do I have time to greet another loop? But yeah, dodging his power is pretty fun. I think Nemesis' power is fairly well designed. Even from a Survivor perspective, though, getting hit with the infection hit and getting a speed boost is pretty stupid. Like, that is pretty stupid. I think that should be changed, but we're not talking about Nemesis in terms of strength and whatnot, so... Yeah, I think he's fun to go against. The reason I moved him down, though, is because of the zombies. The zombies can be so... Like, they're either useless or completely oppressive and just completely game-changing. So, you know, you can have a Nemesis zombie that's just sitting in the corner all game, and it's getting stuck on trees, and you don't even interact with them at all. And then you can have freaking zombies that are just... have insane detection. They kick you off gens, they stop your heals... They, stop, like, totems and stuff from being done. And honestly, like, what's even worse is, like, when you're in a loop and there just happens to be a zombie or two of the zombies there and they cut off your pathing, you can't, like, loop correctly because there's just a zombie or two there. Like, it's not fun. But overall, though, even when you factor in the zombie stuff, I still do believe Nemesis is a B tier for fun. Is he more fun to go against than Demo, honestly, though? Actually, I don't know if he's more fun to go against than Demo. I gotta get rid of my bias here. Or maybe even... Oh, okay, I gotta get rid of my bias here, gang. Yeah, Nemesis is... I love... I mean, yeah, for me, playing as Nemesis is like A tier, but I think playing against him probably is actually B with the zombies and all that stuff. Pinhead... Oof. This is actually tough, dude. It's gonna be a long video, too. Pinhead... I don't know, man. Bottom of C feels fair to me. Yeah, I mean, like, Pinhead, for the most part, is going to have to chase you normally. His power is decently hard to hit. A lot of the time, you get hit with Pinhead power, and then he gains no distance. In fact, sometimes he even loses distance because the chains just break erratically. Yeah, I mean, the box... They fixed it so if you're at least solving the box, you don't get chained and interrupted every freaking 1 second. That was awful. That was like if that was still in the game, he'd probably be here. But Chain Hunt, if you know what you're doing, Chain Hunt is not that hard and not that bad at all to counter. It's actually fairly easy to counter. Just wait till he's in an animation like not breaking pallet. When he's picking someone up and taking him to the hook, just solve his box and boom, he has no more pressure. But in solo queue, you never know what your teammates are doing. Like. You don't know if you got to go for the box, if you can stick a heal, stick a gen, anything like that. You're like, okay, I'm on the other side of the map from the box, but like, what are my teammates doing? Are they going for the box? I have no idea. So, solo queue Pinhead kind of stomps. Again, like, getting hit with the chains and being slow, like, that's not that fun, but at least you can break them. At least you can break them with the, with walls and objects and stuff like that. Does he actually deserve it? He might actually deserve D tier. He might actually deserve D tier. Just because of solo queue. I don't know, man. It's Deathslinger really... Yeah. I think I'll give him bottom of C. Artist... Oh, God. Oh, God. It really depends on how they play. Like... Dude, I don't know, man. I think she goes bottom of D. Because, like... She's so strong. No one plays the Artist, but she's so strong. I'm honestly surprised more people don't play her. I really don't understand why. But you're at a loop. she drops a crow on the pallet or window, she drops a crow one other way, and she just corrals you into it and then just hits you, right? Like, I mean, it's not fun. It is fun though. The reason she's not an F tier for me is because, Giga Chad artists like to go for map wide shots. The little shotgun strat, if you don't know what that is, you shoot one crow across the map, you hit a guy doing like a gen or something like that. Barbecue is an amazing perk on her. But yeah, you hit someone across the map doing like a gen or a heal or a totem, anything like that, and you get to see them for like, what is it, a second until they start cleansing their cleansing the totems, and so they start getting rid of the birds, repelling them. So then what you do is you use that time to calculate where they're going, and you set up kind of like a shotgun of crows where you go like bang, 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 3 crows all in like similar directions but a little bit off from each other, and you just fire those across the map. And when an artist does that, it's pretty fun, but sadly, the one artist I go against every 100 games does not do that. They just place their thing down in loops and just corral you into it, and that's not fun, so that's a D tier. I don't know what to do with Sadako, dude. I really don't know what to do with her. Like, I don't know. I think that's fair. Like, she's not... I don't know. I don't even know what to say about Sadako. Like, they've changed her so many times throughout the years. Currently, like, you get locked into Condemn at 2 stacks. You have to take the tape all the way across the map. But it's not even that... Like, her Condemn isn't even that scary anymore. And she just... You know what? I don't... nah, she's so boring to play against, though. It's just like... She's like Wraith, but worse. She just goes in and out of her power. I mean... She's not as impressive as she used to be, and she doesn't have this stupid just spam teleport strat anymore, which, thank God. That was so annoying to play against, especially when people did not know what they were doing with tapes. But, I mean, she's just a boring killer to play against, I feel like. And I know that kind of goes against what I said earlier, where she has no real chase power, and she's forced to chase. You know what? I feel like I have to move her up to C. It's because of that. Like, she has no real chase power, so you actually do get to loop her, and that's fun. But I mean, other than that, it's just very stale gameplay. I don't know. Yeah, I don't find her that fun to go against. Dredge. Wow, I'd never play against Dredge. I really don't know where to put this man. I don't know. Maybe top of C, I guess. Like, he's not boring to play against. The locked lockers completely destroy this guy. If you guys don't know, lock one locker, keep the other one unlocked. He will always have to teleport to the locked locker. So if you have like a group, don't lock both. Just lock one and lock the other one later. But I mean, like, for the most part, he has to chase you. He has his remnant, his anti-loop. It's not the best. There's some fun. You know what? There are some fun mind games you can do where, like, you go like 75% way around the loop, and he has his thing down, and he's like, okay, they're gonna keep rounding the corner. He teleports as you double back, and then he basically is in the same position where you're all the way across the side of the loop, and he just teleported. So stuff like that is fun. I like those little mind games from Greg. Also, he's called Greg. He has a nice nod. That's gotta give him some points, right? But yeah, I mean, Nightfall doesn't scare me anymore. Like, if you know the maps you're playing on, it's not bad at all. And he still can get locked in lockers. That's his whole thing. He's insane with lockers in Nightfall. He can still get locked. If you know where you're going, it's really not that big of a deal. You can still find your way around the map pretty easily, as long as you're like decently experienced on the map. Yeah, I mean, he's a very middle of the road killer to go against, I would say. So. Oh, and another thing about Dredge is in Nightfall, people say like, "Oh, I can't see him." You can hear this man sloshing around from like 20 meters away. Like, it's so easy to hear him coming. I honestly think it's easier to track him through walls when he's in his Nightfall than not. So, yeah, I think he deserves top of C. I'd rather play against a Spirit or Dredge. Yeah, probably a Dredge. Okay, Wesker. Nah, he goes here. I love playing against Wesker. He's gonna hover around here probably. Wesker is again one of the best, most well-designed killers in the entire game, and he's also strong. So, again, bravo behavior. He has map traversal. He has anti-loop, but his anti-loop is very counterable if you know what you're doing. And one of my favorite things in the game is faking a window when the Wesker has his power up, like making him think I'm gonna vault, so he shoots his power at the window. You dodge the window, you keep running, and then he vaults, and he's just, you got Peppy Loser, bro. Like, that feels so good. And dodging his power and watching him just fly by you, like, oh my gosh, that feels so good. Dodging his power feels amazing. The only thing that sets him back is he's really good at tunneling. I mean, he puts you on the hook, you have half your infection, and then he can just tunnel you off the hook. Like, you're not going to be able to spray if he's tunneling you, and then you're 8% slower, and what are you really going to do again? Same thing with Clown and Freddy, like, no one likes being slowed down in video games. So I think that puts him at bottom of S, just because he does have that in his kit, and a lot of Weskers abuse that. But other than that, like, looping a Wesker is very fun. They can't use their power around every single tile in the game, so knowing which tiles to abuse against Wesker is really fun. And even which pallets, a lot of Weskers, you know, they'll try to vault the pallet because that's their whole thing, but it's a detriment to them most of the time, so Wesker's, he's a fun killer to go against. Plus, I mean, look at that, man. He's dapper as heck. He got the shades. You know, he has, like, infinite shades. Takes him off when he gets stunned, or they fall off when he gets stunned, put him back on. Sick animation. The voice lines also. Oh my gosh, the voice lines just immerse you more. That I kind of want to put him above Blight just because the voice lines and his aesthetic is so fire, but do you really think you can defeat me? 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you. Also, if you've ever had a Giga Chad Wesker in your game that plays for 7 minutes and then disconnects, Chad, absolute, those guys are on a different level. They're insane. They probably play 3 games a day and they get their 15-minute ban. They're like, alright, I'm done. Anyways, though, Wesker, definitely S tier. If he wasn't so good at tunneling, if they changed that, he might actually be above these guys, but I'm going to put him at bottom of S. The Knight, yeah, that's a fat F tier, dude. I think I'd rather play against... Yeah, I hate playing... No, dude, he's lower, bro. I'd rather play against a Hag than a Knight. Knight sucks to go against. He's so unfun. Like, the way that Behavior, like, had in mind, I believe, when they released the Knight is... Oh, look at this. Like, you have a very, like, macro killer. Like, you can be chasing someone. You can send a Knight to patrol across the map to chase someone else. But that's not how the Knight plays. The most efficient way to play Knight is to chase someone to a loop, just poop your guard out, like, literally, like, 0.1 seconds. Just go in your power, poop your guard out, and they have to hold W. Or else, you know, the guard goes one way, you go the other way, guaranteed hit. It's so unfun to go against anything with a guaranteed hit. It's just, like... Oh, I'm so done playing against the Knight, dude. Like, no one plays Man with Sword, Giga Chad. They all just do poop out the freaking guard. And if you're in the corner of the map, you're just screwed. Like, you're gonna get downed. Even if you're full health, you're just down. Like, it's so incredibly unfun to go against. The only counterplay you have is hold W, and, like, that's not fun. Again, like, the most fun thing to do as a survivor in Dead by Daylight is to loop. And you can't even loop at night because you just... This anti-loop is... very, like, it's very good. I hate to say it, but it's very good. So yeah, like, not fun killer. Oh god, don't even get me started. I don't even want to talk about Skull Merchant, but is she better? Is she more fun to go against than Trapper? Yes, honestly. I mean, sorry, no. I would. A Skull Merchant sucks to go against. Same thing with Knight. She just poops out a drone in a loop. You have to leave the loop or else you're just going to eventually get injured and, like, mend and die. Like, she'll down you 100% of the time if you stay at the loop. It'll just take an excruciatingly long amount of time, and it's so boring to go against. Like, they did change her, and she's not as bad as she was to go against in, like, the PTB or, like, on release. But now that 3-genning is not a thing, well, it's not as strong. People still do it all the time, obviously, because it still is probably one of the best strategies that killers have. It's just not fun to go against, man. Like, holding W is a horrible playstyle. You want to be able to loop the killer, not just run away because, you know, they place something down in the loop and, like, oh boy, can't loop here anymore. Same thing. It's the Trapper effect. It's the Knight effect. It's very boring. Like, very stale gameplay. I don't want to talk about her anymore. Okay, Singularity. My goodness, I've played against, like, 10 Larrys in my entire life. And I have a decent amount of hours in this game, so he's going to be a little hard to rank for me. I don't know. You know what? Whoa. I'll put him at right next to... would I rather play against Singularity or Dredge, though? Probably a Dredge. I mean, Singularity is actually kind of fun to play against. You have to use a lot of the counters that you would do, like with Nurse, where, you know, he puts up his camera, he shoots you, he puts up his camera, you try to lose line of sight, like you would do with the Nurse. That way he can't shoot you, and if you do get shot, you get out of line of sight of him or his cameras again. That way he can't teleport to you. In overclock mode, you know, you kind of just pre-drop pallets, or else that way just destroys them. He's not super fun to go against, but he's not, like, the worst, I guess. Now I'm low-key rethinking Pinhead and Deathslinger. I think I might have ranked them too high. Yeah, whatever, who cares? Larry, he's kind of fun to go against, but he's not, like, the best. I think C tier is fair. Alien, nah, bro. I hate playing as Alien. He's so good at his anti-loop. The turrets basically do nothing. If you hit him with a turret, guess what? He's going to go in his tunnel for 2 seconds, come back out, and he has his power again. And his power is very oppressive. It's extremely good at anti-looping. He can hit over things that people don't think he can hit over, especially if it's an experienced alien. So, there's not really much you can do against a good alien. Great map traversal as well. Not the most fun killer to play against, to be honest. No one plays him, though, honestly. I don't see that many aliens, which is... I see more aliens than, Artists, though, and I think Artist is even stronger than him, so... Not complaining about that one, by the way. Chucky... Oh, goodness, dude. Don't. Chucky's an F tier. Chucky is guaranteed to hit at every... I guess not every... the good pallets in the game. I mean, if it's a stupid pallet, obviously, he can just, chase you down and mind game you, and you're going to get hit anyways because it's a crap palette. It's going to be 50-50s all the time. But if it's a good palette like Shaq or like a long wall or something like that, any palette that's usually considered safe, or even those loops in Cold Wind, that have the crazy hay bales, all he's going to do is use his power, scamper under the loop, and then hit you. It is so boring, dude. And he can just down you like that too. I'm pretty sure that counts as a basic attack. So if he has Enduring and Hubris, and you stun him. Okay, great. Guess what? You stun him for half a second. He pulls out his power. He scampers under the pallet, and he hits you, and you're down. It's just free hits, guaranteed. Sorry, I don't know if free hits is the word. Guaranteed hits is incredibly boring to go against in this game, and it's probably the least fun aspect of Dead by Daylight. So yeah, anybody that can get a free hit is just automatically very low on the tier list. And again, he's stealth killer. He's extremely hard to see a lot of the time. I'm not even talking about at loops. Just sometimes you can't even see him coming because the freaking grass is so tall, and dude is short on the grass, which is crazy. You can't. I'll say though, it does feel good when you spin or FOV tech a Chucky, because you shouldn't really be able to do that because he has the same FOV as you. So it does feel good when you're able to do that. Kind of a little Pepe loser, like when Wesker vaults, but. Yeah, the guaranteed hits, it's just he can't get above F tier, dude. He's guaranteed hits. It's so boring. And then last but not least, we have the Unknown. I feel like he's probably around Nemesis, right? He's even more impressive than Nemesis because he has the teleport, and he can... If the Unknown knows what they're doing, they can actually place the teleport in a place where they're able to teleport to it effectively, which is very good for them. But their power, very good at zoning, kind of like Nemesis. He can kind of hold it and then just see where you go, drop it, M1 you, and if he doesn't do that, then he just shoots it at you. I would say you can kind of hit and run as the Unknown, but not really. You can hit a shot on someone and then run away out of line of sight so they can't, lose their power. I forgot what it's called right now. Not reveal you, but you know what I mean. If you look at the Unknown, his little purple thing goes away. And if you hit and run, you kind of can't do that, but it's not super effective. But yeah, he can shut down a lot of the loops in the game. His teleport can feel somewhat oppressive sometimes. I think his teleport is actually pretty balanced, even from a survivor POV. It's actually very balanced. Decently balanced. How about that? Okay, nothing in this game is perfectly balanced, but I don't know. The fact that he can zone you in a lot of tiles is just never fun. Like that never feels good to go against. Yeah, I think B tier is a fair spot. So this is my list of all the killers ranked by how fun they are to go against. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I might end up making one of these for killers to play as well. So keep a lookout. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.
First of all, I just want to say, if you made it this far into the video, you are a trooper. I really appreciate you watching. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more content. And let me know down in the comments section if there's anything specific that you want me to cover. I mean, I love just talking about this game. I could talk about it forever. Ranting about things, praising some things, you know. Whatever the most fun thing is, unfun thing is, the most fun perks, add-ons, items, builds, anything like that. Just let me know in the comments down below, and thank you again for watching. So after giving this some more thought, I actually decided I'm going to make some changes to my list. I think I'm going to move Oreo above Deathslinger and Pinhead because she's not that hard to counter. I feel like she's honestly weaker than she used to be when she could just, spam teleport and cheese that. But she has the Legion effect where she has to get in a normal chase with you, so that is nice. Pinhead probably lower than Deathslinger because of the box and solo queue mechanics, but dodging a chain, dodging a shot, both feel extremely rewarding. I do think they're above like the D tier, just barely hanging on by a thread, but I justify them in the bottom of C. Also, I don't know how this man made it so high. Knight, get down, bro. Get down. I'd rather play against a Trapper or a Doctor than a freaking Knight or Skull Merchant. These guys are just the epitome of bad design, and they came out back to back. What a horrible time for the game. Also, Chucky, what are you doing so high, bro? What was I cooking there? I think I definitely would rather play against the Hag, Clown, Freddy, or Twins than a Chucky. Like this, maybe even a Trickster, dude. I think, yeah, I'd rather play against Trickster. Because, like, Trickster, yeah, he eventually downs you, but at least you can somewhat dodge. Chucky's just, even on the God balance on the game, this man could just scamper under them and hit you. Like, that is just stupid. Nah, I convinced myself. I convinced myself. Dude, is he above Trapper? Is Chucky above Trapper, though? That would be insane if I put him below. Okay, let me think about it. Scampering under a pallet or running into a trap or getting corralled away. Honestly, I think he's just a bit above Trapper. And then for Doctor, yeah, you know what? It's as much as I hate Doctor, I'd rather play against a Doctor than a Chucky, so. But yeah, Knight and Chucky made it way too high in this list, I realized. And Skull Merchant just... As a matter of fact... The bro tier. They're getting moved down to the bro tier. Like, I can't believe these guys made it in the game. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, these guys are gonna go in the bro tier. Like, this is actually so sad. But yeah, I think I like this list. Let me just go through it one more time. That looks good. Looks good. Yeah, I like this. C tier, not bad. D, fine. I don't know. I like playing against the Twins more than a lot of these guys. Hag over Trickster, yep. Doctor over Chucky, just barely, but yeah. I mean, a good Doctor though. Oof, oof. Good Doctor. I mean, let's just. I'm gonna play, like, say, average Chucky versus average Doctor. So Doctor just barely ends up stealing that. Trapper, yeah, and then just like these guys just go. Behavior, like how do you make killers like Blight and Wesker and then also make killers like Knight and Skull Merchant? I just don't understand. Yeah, you know what? This is good. I like this. Alright. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I also hope you don't go against a Knight or a Skull Merchant in your games because, yikes, dude. Epitome of design! Hooray! Hooray!